I have been trying to make this video for a good 3 hours now. And I'm hoping this time I can actually say what I'm wanting to say. My proposition of the abolishment of currency is something that may never come. In fact, because of human greed, it won't. That's why I expect no change. I'm not expecting changes, I'm just expecting answers as to why are we still indoctrinating greed? We can train people out of it. We can. We don't allocate our resources into that because it costs money. But when money is why we can't, then we should just get rid of money so we can, right? I know. Pretty straightforward, but not way too many steps in between. But let's look at what our new goals as a collective of humanity would start looking at if we did abolish currency and instead started looking forward to possibly education. Education being accessible to all of the time, would be huge. In fact, that's probably the main thing stopping the progress. Because you have corporations and government government officials that don't want certain secrets out. And it's only because they don't think the populace is ready for them. That's why they have classified files. Because they are things that they don't want the populace to know about that they did. That's what classified files are for. It's to keep secrets out of, you know, everyone else's hands. Instead of being transparent, why can't we just be more transparent? Again, because we built our society to function on war and the prosperity of others' suffering. This is why I don't expect change. I would hope we would reach the age of human flourishing, which I'm about to get into right now, but I don't see it happening. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. So, without further ado, let's talk about the age of human flourishing after the abolishment of currency. Okay? Now that basic needs are no longer met, or now that basic needs are no longer the focus, my bad, no longer the focus, because they've already been met. Everybody already has everything they need. The goal becomes maximizing human potential. Now, this comes into play with institutions. Um, Specifically, hands-on colleges being accessible to all. For those who know something are to teach it. Those who don't know are to learn it. If you want to learn something, then just go out and learn it. And right now, yes, you can. Kinda. Mostly through YouTube, which, let's be honest, some of our best works have come from YouTube. But so is a lot of our worst works. And the bad kind of outweighs the good. So why can't we instead give access to education to all of the time, freely, being taught by those who enjoy it? Because that is their purpose. They want to do that with their life. We go ahead and start using biotech to take care of all of the areas around the world that are just being diminished, just utterly in shambles. We use biotech to bring those ecosystems back up to par. Why can't we do that? I mean, we're attempting to now, but it, again, costs a lot of money, which slows the progress and sometimes halts it. Again, I digress. We could also begin planetary and interstellar travel. We could start looking towards moving worlds, moving our society to another world to inhabit. We could start gathering resources from asteroids. We would be able to I'm trying my best to just wing this whole thing. Mostly using the bullet points, but just reading this, it just, it's baffling. It really, really is. Because after we've brought the ecosystems of Earth back up to par, and all of our individuals are educated, and we're now moving to other planets for exploration and resource gathering, potentially, and maybe even experimentation. Who knows? We could start experimenting on other worlds. That would be incredible. But then once we've discovered all of that, then it really comes down to a major focus and a major shift in our society for another time. A second major shift in our society after the collapse of currency. And that would be the exploration and evolution of our inner consciousness, trying to find out the meaning behind us as a whole. Creating programs for consciousness studies, meditation, altered states, and collective intelligence, where all of us can finally be one together. Who knows? But it all kind of boils down to one main thing that is going to be an even bigger shift than any of the other ones, and that's no empire and no decay. We won't. An empire can't crumble if there's no empire. If we're just a collective of individuals and stay that way, maximizing our own potentials to the best of our abilities in order to benefit our fellow man, in a perfect world, we would be gods. Now, again, that's a bit blasphemous, and I understand that. But the comparison is a little uncanny, don't you think? Because if there's no empire, maybe that's what all of the other civilizations across our known universe have done. And that's why we haven't seen any massive civilizations. Because instead they're a collective of individuals. Maybe. That would be incredibly fascinating. That would answer quite a few questions. But all in all, there would be very little power at all for anybody. Nobody would really have any power over anyone. It'd just mostly be again a collective vote. If you want a vote in the decision, you can vote in the decision. There is no empire. We are individuals, all deciding for the betterment of each other. So, when there's a decision to be made, we all come together and cast our vote, and whichever one, basically, if it's not a unanimous vote, then we have more debates until the vote can be unanimous. And I have been neglecting to apologize for my constant slip-ups in my usage of words. That is mostly due to a handful of medical issues of mine that I won't get into. But this is all I'm asking. In a world with no currency, and with these becoming our new goals as a collective humanity, individuals all searching for what they want most, wouldn't you hope for a future like that too? Even if it's an impossible dream, wouldn't you pray every night for it too? The collapse of everything, sure, but the rebuilding of a society even greater. Who knows?